Agents, you have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. Open. Chicago with the lead. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Under it, and to the middle with the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh, touchdown Bears!
Time in 6 seasons, it's 1 goal achieved. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it, throw to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this House Music Monday edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not watching us on Facebook, what? Listen, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning. We have our own Facebook page. Go to that page, like that page as well. And now you're following Shawn and Maya in the morning, in addition to Sports Zone Chicago. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real. All right, listen, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, click the little bell right next to it. That's the notification button. That'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. If you're watching this on our mobile app, and yes, we have a mobile app, baby. Come on now, don't act like you don't even know. And if you don't, you better ask somebody. Oh snap! I forgot to do that. Silly me. That's all right. Listen, you better ask somebody. We have a mobile app, okay? You can take us with you on the go. So wherever you get your apps from, wherever they are, okay? iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy's, Montgomery Ward, Venture, Woolworth, wherever you get them from. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. Not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew. And I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. If you're watching this on our Roku channel, yay! Now that's what I'm talking about, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Man, we have our own Roku channel. What? Jubralum East. How'd you know that, man? How'd you know that? Look, we Sports Zone Chicago have our own Roku channel, baby. So listen, if you have a Roku device in the house, you got a Roku TV in the house, do us a favor. Download the Sports Zone Chicago tile. Download it. Put it right there next to Disney Plus, Hulu, Prime Video, Netflix, Max, Paramount Plus, Stars. Do it. Or you can watch us live. Hell, we're live there right Mickey Ficky now. That's what I'm talking about. Now, you can also tweet this show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me, personally online, you want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. You want to know what I did? Well, here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram, because you're an IGer and you do it just for the gram, we'll just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Listen, we have a phenomenal show, but we need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our mobile app, leave a question or comment on that particular platform. All right. It'll come up. And we'll get it on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that's what makes this the best Chicago Sports Talk morning show around, is you. All right, your questions. So bring it, baby. We want all that smoke. Questions. Bring us your questions, your comments, your smart-ass remarks. Bring it. We'll talk about it. All right. Let's see. Let's see who's in the chat room so far. Cornelius Squalls in the house. He's early again, 8:30 in the morning. What up, Cornelius? Brandon Schutz in the house. Good morning, Papa. I downloaded the Sports Show. Yeah, Sports Show Chicago on the TV. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Yes, sir, Bob. Marshawn Walls in the Mickey Ficky house. House Music Monday, baby. Hey, yeah, you saw it. I was with Derek Carter last night, baby. Legendary house DJ in the Mickey Ficky house yesterday. Boy, I'm telling you, that was jumping. West Fest was jumping. Woo-wee. Had some girls fighting right next to us. It was going, meet me in at West Town. It's going down. Two girls started throwing haymakers. I was like, oh, snap. Let me get out of the way. My name's Bennett, and I ain't in it. Telling you, it was fun. Had a few drinks. Made it to CrossFit this morning. If you, again, follow me on Facebook, you would have seen me go live earlier on Facebook. So made it to my CrossFit class. All's well that ends well, baby. Vernon Mickey Fairley. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, bro. We're going to talk about that today. Frustrating. My man, Armando Emeterio Lara Jr., he's in the house, baby. What is going on? And I love it. And Jeremiah is watching on my lap. Jeremiah, good morning, Papa. And that means Armando Emeterio Lara the fourth should be pretty close as well. So, gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. I'm sure Patty Lara will tune in. Maybe even Monica will tune in soon. I love it, and I appreciate it. Oh, speak of the devil. There she is. Monica, what's up, mommy? How are you? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it, mija. Thank you so much. Brandon Schutz, as I said, he downloaded the Sports Zone Chicago tile on his TV. He's watching the boy on a big screen. I like it a lot. Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will be chiming in as the show goes on. That, my friends, I can promise you. Listen, we have a phenomenal. When I say phenomenal, I mean a phenomenal show for you. I am fired up about it. Right around 9:30, our guy, Shawn Davis. He's from the Lucky Lefty podcast. He's going to join us, and we're actually going to talk baseball. See, Shawn is one of those guys. He's one of those guys that I like, man. I told you, I love these guys. I love guys who can just talk multiple sports. He was an athlete, okay? And he can talk multiple sports. He's not pigeonholed in the football. He's not pigeonholed in the basketball. He's not pigeonholed in the baseball. He can talk all sports, and I love it. Remember, he was a producer at ESPN, AM 1000 ESPN Chicago for a little while, WGN for a while, and now he's doing his thing with the Lucky Lefty podcast and with Notre Dame recruiting. But, man, you know, I've told you before, I like having people on who can talk multiple sports. And Shawn is one of those dudes, and I'm excited to have him join us. He'll be joining us right around 9:30. Okay, and a little after 10, my guy Lauren Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast, he's going to join us. And it is what? I almost forgot to plug my computer in. That's all I need. He's going to join us. It is for 15 days, maybe just about 2 weeks. The Bears report to training camp. 2 weeks from today, I will be the happiest camper on the face of the earth. Okay? I will most likely be decked out in all Bears gear. You know what? I got to talk to my guy, John Gear. All right, he has a lot of Bears stuff. All right, he's a shameless plug for him. But go to Chicago Gear on Facebook. Chicago Gear on Facebook. He's got tons and tons of stuff. He's got a brick and mortar store now over in Pilsen. You can stop in and get a whole bunch of stuff. He'll let you know the days that they're open. But he's got to get with the bear head. See the bear logo? The bear logo, but with headphones to put house head. He did that with the White Sox. He did that with the Cubs. Now he's got to do it with the Bears. He's got to do it with the Blackhawks too. All right. I got to do it. My man Hassem is in the house. Good morning, Papa. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. And my man Charles Edward Bingham McDavid Sr. He's in the house. He's getting ready. He's watching the boy before he gets out. He's got to work. He's about to get to work. He's a car guy, the car wash god, man. Let me tell you something. Charlie. I see your stuff on Facebook. Comes all nice and shiny, all fresh, and so clean. Okay. Oh man, but that's the lineup today, 9:30. Right around 9:30, Shawn Davis is going to join us talking baseball. This town needs an enema. And right a little after 10 o'clock, my man Lauren Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast is going to join us talking Bears. I'm fired up. Yeah, Brandon, this is the draft cap for this year. I got the flex fit. I didn't get the fitted. I think for the draft caps, I'm not going to get the fitted because they have a new one every year. You follow me? So this one's cheaper. So I'll get the flex, and hopefully I get a coupon code or something, and I don't have to pay full price for the flex because these things are crazy. $40. You got 30, it's usually like 37. Then you got tax, shipping. So looking at 45, almost $50 for a flex fit. That's if you don't buy it. If you buy it online. If you buy it in the store, obviously you don't have to worry about shipping, so you're straight. But anyway, I digress. Man, I'm telling you, I am fired up for today. Today's show is going to be awesome. There's a lot. We're in the All-Star break now. Okay. Got you, Steve-O. We're in the All-Star break now. And let me tell you, I am fired up because we get a break. We get a break, a much needed break from these baseball teams. And we need a break. All right. We have we have some all-stars that are going to be representing the Chicago teams, and good for them. Good. I'm happy they made it. I'm happy that they made it. Okay. But there's a lot of work we got to do as far as both teams, Sox and Cubs. We just keep screwing around, and it's frustrating for both sides of town. I can't speak personally for the Cubs, but I know a lot of my Cub fan friends are a little frustrated. They want more, and I get it. I want more. I would want more from my team as well. I always demand the best from my White Sox. I always demand the best from that organization, and it's frustrating when they don't do that. It's frustrating when egos get in the way. It's frustrating when you don't make good baseball decisions. Like, you guys are getting paid millions of dollars to make good baseball decisions, and you're not. And then the owner is too, I don't know if you want to say loyal or dumb, but he doesn't want to make a change. He's extremely loyal to his people. That, my friends, is a problem. That is a huge problem. So, yeah. You see, you got me started. You got me going down a path I didn't really want to go to. Well, I did want to go down it. We were going to, but I'll tell you, these baseball teams, they're going to be the end of me yet. Oh, shoot. Sorry, Charles. See who else we got in here. Good morning, sir. Thank you, Brad. Again, I think you like you have. Charles, yeah, I got two on the way. They're showing surround sound in the garage. I love it, baby. Thank you very much. You can hear the show on Western and Marquette, and 67th and Western. Very nice. I appreciate it. Hasem, yes, the home run derby is tonight. I am happy. Very, very. That's good stuff. Good stuff. Well, listen. Let's get this off. Guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. What's the happen? Top of the morning to you. What's the happen? Top of the morning to you.
The first top of the morning, man. We got a couple top. Woo, Charlie. So we gotta hustle up a little bit. I gotta hustle up a little bit. Get your act together, buddy. Get your act together there, pal. Where did it go? Oh, Shishka Barbarino. All right. Here's what we'll do. First top of the morning topic. The Cubs. After getting their first win in Yankee Stadium ever, they end up beating the New York Yankees yesterday, winning the series 2-1. They beat the Yankees yesterday 7-5. Kyle Hendricks, the professor, started. He got a no decision. He went 5 2/3. He got lit up a little. 10 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 punch outs. Mr. Outcast himself, Heiya Suzuki, he was 1 for 3 with a homer, his 7th of the year. Driving in his 27th and 28th runs of the season. Tucker Barnhart was 1 for 4 with his 2nd double of the season, driving in his 8th. And Yan Gomes was 1 for 1, driving in his 28th and 29th runs of the season. The Cubs go into the All-Star break with a 42-47 record. It's a .472 winning percentage. In third place in the NL Central. Still 7 games back. All right. Still 7 games back. Stop it. You know when you get a call and stop it. Stop, I said. Damn you. Damn it, I said stop. Yesterday, I'm trying to figure. Don't worry, we're gonna get to that one. Whoo, Charlie. The Cubs first round draft pick. They draft infielder Matt Shaw in the first round with the 13th pick from the University of Maryland. Here we go. Ooh, look at that. Woo! My man Steve O. Good stuff, baby. First round, 13th pick. And then in the second round with the 68th pick, they drafted Jackson Wiggins. All right, out of Arkansas. Just messing around. Right-handed pitcher from Arkansas. All righty. I'm excited for you guys. All right. But moving on to the next top of the morning topic. The White Sox. Yeah. The White Sox fall to the Cardinals 4-3 in 10 innings. Giolito his great outing was wasted yesterday. 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 punch outs, 7 innings and 2 earned runs. Are you freaking kidding me? That's the day at the office. That's the hell of a day. You give up 2 runs and you can't win in 7 innings. Lou Bob, he was 1 for 3. He had a double, his 23rd, driving in his 51st on the season, finishing the unofficial first half of the season with 51 ribbies. Elvis was in the building as well. Elvis Andrus was 2 for 3 with an RBI, his 18th of the season. Just couldn't get it done yesterday. Nothing more, nothing less. All right, this is the same shit we've been dealing with and talking about the White Sox all year long. The hitting sucked and the pitching was good. The pitching sucked and the hitting was good. They just can't get on the same page. They just can't. And it sucks and it shows. Wow. I'm a little salty. I'm a little salty because, well, never mind. Next top of the morning topic: the White Sox. The White Sox had their draft. Were in the draft as well yesterday with their first pick in the 15th. With the 15th pick in the first round, the White Sox selected Jacob Martinez, shortstop out of Ole Miss. Coming after TA's job. No, he'll be down in the minors for a couple years, I would imagine. That was with their first pick. And with their second pick, they got a right-handed pitcher, Grant Taylor. Second round, 51st pick in the MLB draft. Filling up the farm system with talent. That boy got talent. That boy's got talent. Luis Mejia, good morning, baby. Rise and grind. He is in the house. I love it, baby. I love it. Hey, again, gracias, amigo. I love got the bobblehead. I appreciate it. Thank you very, very, very much. The Lou Bob bobblehead. My guy got it for me. Yes. Yeah, well, I think the only times they would have played at Yankee Stadium was in the World Series back in the day. And then they were there a couple of years ago in the Interleague. And I don't remember, obviously they didn't win, but I don't know if it was shortened by rain or if they just got swept or what the deal was. But yeah, it is surprising that the Cubs never won at Yankee Stadium. But you know what? The Cubs won. Not only did they win their first game, again, as I said, they won the series to 1. I'm telling you, I love this tea. This green tea that I make is amazing. I just want to keep drinking it and drinking it and drinking it. That's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Craziness. Man. Wow. Well, the next top of the morning topic, listen, let me this one's a little tough. You know, Ed Fitzgerald has been a pillar at Northwestern. All right, he went there as a player, and he was a coach there. He was a defensive backs coach, and when he got the job, was it when Randy Walker passed away? So he's been there for 17 years. And what's going on there now is it's interesting because here's why. It's interesting because he's been a part of that program for over 20 years. Okay. He is the head coach. He's been an assistant coach. He's the head coach now. And according to multiple reports and letters, there was some hazing that has gone on in the program. Now, I like Fitz. I've met him plenty of times when I was at Curie. He came and was recruiting James Adeyanju, who ended up going to Wisconsin, and Maurice, our quarterback / free safety, who ended up going to Iowa. So he was in the office a few times, and I got to meet him. South suburban kid, went to Carl Sandburg, right there on LaGrange, like 131st, 127th on LaGrange. Actually, his dad's a St. Rita guy. we got to talking, and he asked where I was from. I said, "Oh, I went to St. Rita." He goes, "Oh, my dad's a Rita guy." So this is pain. It pains me to say and talk and discuss this, but it needs to be discussed. There were allegations of hazing, and going through it. Okay, like when you go to there's been hazing for years, and so it's just how bad or how crazy it got. All right. So for us, the initiation, the hazing was we had to get up in front of the team and perform a skill, do an act. Some guys sang, some guys did a skit, some guys rapped, some guys, whatever. You know what I mean? And then at the end of, or in springtime, we had Case Day, where from 12 midnight to 12 midnight, you had to consume a whole case of beer. 24 cans. All right. In addition to first couple weeks, freshman, grab my shit. Freshman, go do this. Freshman, go do that. Okay. But the allegations here are pretty bad and pretty weird. A lot of sexual innuendos. Guys, they talked about dry humping. There's an article in ESPN that I was looking at, and it's disturbing. It's disturbing. It's written by Adam Rittenberg, so if you have the ESPN app, or just Google it. All right. And there's a lot of people who are wanting Pat Fitzgerald to go. And unfortunately, I think he might have to. Okay. A former player spoke to ESPN on this, on the condition of anonymity. And he said, quote, Fitz absolutely knew about the hazing in this program. Fitz absolutely failed by not intervening. Fitz knew he should have made it stop. Truly did not know. He should not be the head coach. Either way, he should not be the head coach because he is not monitoring and protecting the safety and well-being of student athletes, unquote. Then the players came to the defense of Coach Fitzgerald, and they said accusations from the former players were, quote, exaggerated and twisted. Yeah. It's so crazy. And if they are true, the former player said, quote, they were run as a freshman, quote unquote run. And what that was is that this player said, quote, they've been held down against their will by numerous upperclassmen with masks on, have been violently dry humped in a dark room. This is Title IX stuff. This is sexual abuse and sexual assault. I don't know why the university is making the details public. Unquote. And this former player said that Fitz signaled for players to be added to Shrek's list with a specific clapping motion during practice. He said he saw Fitz make the motion at least 5 times since the 2020 season. Here's another quote. The player said he would be smiling menacingly at the individual who messed up while simultaneously clapping his hands over his head in a specific manner, i.e. our head coach communicating that this individual did something wrong and needs to be put in the list and hazed accordingly. The vast majority of the team would then join in, follow Fitz's lead, the player said. This is crazy. The former player sent ESPN a photo of a whiteboard headline Shrek list listing the names of players, as well as bulleted items that included naked slingshot, naked bear crawls, naked center quarterback exchange, and naked pass rush. I'm not sure what that means. So the naked stuff is weird. Like I said, this is the stuff that I did at Holy Cross was nothing like this. All right, carrying sweaty, smelly fucking shoulder pads and helmet of Jerome, of Joe Segretti, Jerome Fuller, Joe Segretti, and Willie Bradford. Okay, I had to. No big deal. They had, they had the case day. It was nothing to this extent. Now, if people say, here's the crazy part, and here's why. If people say that, if people actually have the audacity to say that Pat Fitzgerald knew nothing about it, they're lying. I'm speaking to you from a Division I football player. Coaches know what's going on. They don't talk about it. They don't mention it. They'll have specific players they talk about stuff with. Okay, because they need to know if shit happens, shit hits the fan, they need to know. Period. They need to know. But wasn't Fitz a player at Northwestern? Hazing didn't just start in 2020. It's been around as long as the game's been around, for all intents and purposes, over 50, 80 years. So Fitz went through something like this himself. People are forgetting to think that. Like, he was a player there. He got hazed. Now, to what extent, I don't know. But unfortunately, today's a different time. Okay, today's a different time. You can't talk to people like that. You can't treat people like that. People are quick to blow the whistle. It's a different time now. It's not 1980s, not 1990s. The world is different. Athletes are different. And to continue that same type of behavior to this degree is wrong. Okay. I like Fitz. I do. Like I said, he had visited us plenty of times at the Curie, but I suggest you go read the article, ESPN article, and the Sun Times. There's an article today. Read those articles. Come up to with your own conclusions. But listen, it's just like Wirtz. Rocky Wirtz not knowing about the allegations, the sexual allegations of their film, the film guy. When everybody else in the organization knew, all the way up to the general manager, all the way up to they met at the Chicago Stadium. They had a meeting about it. And you don't think Rocky Wirtz knew? You don't think Rocky Wirtz, it's your team. You don't think that's something that they would want to tell the guy who owns the team? Unfortunately, Fitz knows. Fitz knew about it. Will they fire him? I don't know. It depends on how much pressure comes from the press, how much pressure comes from the alumni, how much pressure comes from the outside world. Because Northwestern wouldn't fire him if they had their druthers. They try to have this come out on a Friday, probably have a couple murders over the weekend in Chicago would cover this up. Okay. Maybe, you know what I mean? Just some crazy stuff that people are talking about. Well, what happened in the weekend? The violence in Chicago, this, and this. And it just would have got rolled over, got washed away with the tide, and people would have forgot about it, is what they were hoping. That's most likely why they brought it out on a Friday. But it didn't. And now they're in a world of shit. And Northwestern, pristine institution, has got a very, very, very serious issue on its hands. I'm anxious to see, like millions of people, how this plays out. What are the fits? You know, Fitz has a tendency to, his own words may come back and bite him in the ass. All right, when his teams don't play well, first thing Fitz says, it starts with me. That's the first thing he says. It starts with me. I got to do a better job of coaching. I have to do a better job of getting my coaches prepared. Our coaches need to do a better job of getting them prepared, the players. And according to Rick, wasn't Rick Tellner, who was it? Rick Morrissey. According to Rick Morrissey in the Sun-Times today, if that's the mantra that he uses, which he does, it starts with me, then he's going to have to be the first one to go. And maybe now's the time for him to go to the NFL. Take a year off. If they fire him this year, it'll affect that program big time this year. But they'll move on. He'll get a job in the NFL, maybe as an assistant or a head coach, because there have been questions about him going to the NFL as well before. Now might be the good time for him to go to the NFL. Yeah. Yeah. Junior, yeah, he got the job because of a scandal. Yeah. Yeah. When Gary Walker died. Gary, I'm thinking both Gary Barnett and Randy Walker. When Randy Walker died, pardon me, my apologies to the Walker family. When Randy Walker passed, there was they also had the student who died when they were running, and see, but this is where non-football people have an issue. This is where I need to tell them, slow your fucking brakes, shut the fuck up and listen. It bothers me. Like, it was 97 degrees and they were running sprints and this and this and like, look, this is football. Okay. And you play in the elements, which means you have to train in the elements, because the game doesn't get stopped if it's 95 degrees outside. The game doesn't stop if it's 30 degrees outside. So you have to train in those conditions for you to be prepared. And if someone passes out, that's happened at times. Okay. But when people say, well, they shouldn't be doing this, but you watch football. You want athletes, you're complaining about athletes, and about whatever it is you want to complain about. They're not in shape, they're lazy, they're this or that. But then when they put them through a rigorous workout to get them prepared to play, then it's like, oh, now it's too tough. And I know Northwestern try to sweep that under the rug as well, but that's what a lot of rich PWIs will do. All right, you got money, especially if you have a pristine reputation like Northwestern. Yeah, you want to sweep everything under the rug. You don't want to deal with the backlash of liberals and crazy people. We'll see. Let's take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome Shawn Davis. He should be with us in a few moments. But don't go anywhere, folks. We have more sports conversations, so don't go anywhere and keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. buddies from the Army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Cubs dugout chirping at McKay, and rightfully so. He had a really wide zone at the beginning of the game. Oh, and Rossi's already kicked out of the game. Wow. First inning.
And Rossi's going to come out and get his money's worth. Swing and a high fly ball left field. This is well struck at the wall, and that one is gone. Seiya Suzuki will touch them all. 2. Line drive sinking. Base hit center field. 1 run is in. Here comes Morel. He's in. Yan Gomes off the bench. A 2-run single. And we're starting over. Tied 4-4. Way high. And here comes Nico scrambling across.
Well, welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Marquee Network. The Cubs with a big win yesterday in the Boogie Down Bronx, giving them 2 of the 3 games in the series. So, as I said earlier, in addition to getting their first win at Yankee Stadium, they won the series as well. This baseball team, this city is we're in dire straits. Both baseball teams are not good. Not good at all. Cubs more so than, the Sox more so than the Cubs. And the All-Star break is a good time to sit back and exhale. All right? Good time to exhale. Take inventory of where you're at, where you're going, and decide if you're going to become buyers or sellers at the deadline, the trade deadline, that is. I think the White Sox need to be sellers. However, my issue is this. Unfortunately, well, here's the thing. This can be fixed with the White Sox. It can easily be fixed, but it won't be. That's the unfortunate thing. It won't be. The White Sox have plenty of players who are extremely talented. On paper, the most talented team in the division. Minnesota would be a close second. One of the most talented teams in the entire Major League Baseball. But they're not performing. And I've given you my rant, so I'm not going to go on a SuperBack rant like I did last time. But in a nutshell, it's egos. That's all it is. Egos. Jerry Reinsdorf let his ego get in the way and brought in Tony La Russa. Then Rick Hahn had his ego get in the way and didn't bring in a World Series winning manager. There are 4 of them out there when this position was open. You had Ozzie Guillen, you had Bruce Bochy, you had Joe Girardi, and you had Joe Madden. The interview to Ozzie was basically a token interview. They didn't even interview Bruce Bochy. And look what he's doing now with the Texas Rangers. Texas is 52-39. They're 13 games over 500 and they're atop the American League West. The 3rd best team in the American League. 5th best team in baseball. But they won't do it. They will not get rid of it. Why? Because Rick Hahn, and maybe it's not even Rick Hahn. Maybe it's not even Rick Hahn. Maybe it's Kenny Williams. Maybe it's Kenny Williams who's saying, listen, we're not bringing in Ozzie for whatever reason. We're not even interviewing Bruce Bochy. We're not hiring Joe Madden or Joe Girardi because we want puppet men. We want people we can control. We want to be able to write the lineup. We want to be able to make position changes and personnel changes without the manager giving us any backlash. That, my friends, is the most asinine way to do things. When you have proven veteran managers out there, you don't hire one of them, there are 4 at the time, then you're not serious about winning. And I trust me, I understand. You can say Ozzie was never a manager himself, and you would be correct. Here are 2 things that go wrong with that. 1, Ozzie has a great baseball mind, and seems like Pedro sometimes has a great baseball mind. If you follow me on Facebook, you saw the other day, I was like, why didn't you double? I think it was Friday. Why didn't you double steal? Runners on first. It was the 10th inning, bottom of the 10th. They held. Who did they play? Was it St. Louis? It might have been St. Louis. Anyway, they had Tim Anderson on base. And Lewis Robert was up. So Tim Anderson's on second base. You know, you start the inning with the guy on second. Tim Anderson made the last out. He's on second. Lewis Robert's up. They intentionally walked Lewis Robert. They just put him on first. And my thought was, oh, perfect. Double steal. I talked about it the other day. Maybe it was Thursday then. Double steal. And they're going to go, obviously you can't get both guys out. So you're most likely going to go to third, shut him out, shut down the lead runner. Shorter throw. So if they get Tim Anderson, well, guess what? Now they have one out, but they still have a runner in scoring position who can run in Lewis Robert. If they don't get Tim Anderson at third, well, now you got runners on second and third. Now Lewis Roberts' run really doesn't matter. All it is Tim. Tim can score on a wild pitch, pass ball. All right, a deep fly ball, a sac fly. It doesn't matter. Tim has access, has a better chance of scoring. But they don't do it. They don't score in the bottom of the 10th, and the Cardinals score 6 in the top of the 11th. 6. I was livid. This is all brought by themselves because they don't want a manager who's going to talk back. They don't want a manager to say, you've never managed a game in your life. To sit in your comfy offices and say, oh, I'd make this move, that move, this move, that move. Okay, good. It's a lot different than actually managing a baseball game. A lot different. So until this whole thing is, and again, I don't know how much Rick Hahn had. Does Rick Hahn have to run his choices by Kenny? Because if that's the case, why the hell, Rick Hahn, why the hell are you still here? Why the hell are you still here when you have to kowtow and you have to ask Kenny Williams, can we hire this guy? Can we bring this guy in for an interview? If that's the case, Rick Hahn, you are the biggest disappointment that I know. Because to have someone tell you your job is a general manager. Your job is to hire and fire managers. Now, if you find a guy you like that doesn't go with Kenny, hey, sorry, Kenny, you're not making those decisions anymore. Or are you? Or are you, Kenny? You don't make the decision, you just influence the decision. So, Rick Hahn, I was very high on you for years. I was very happy the way you constructed this team, the amount of talent you got, the way you fleeced Washington for the amount of picks and players that we got. Boston for Yo-Yo and Giolito. And now I'm through with you, Rick Hahn. I'm through with you. Because either way, you're still one that needs to go. Whether you make the decision, made the only decision that had sole authority, sole autonomy in making that decision, and you didn't go get a World Series winning manager who holds players accountable, or whether you had to go up the totem pole to Kenny and he nixed the idea. And if that's the case, why are you still here as a man, as a professional? When your job is to hire managers and you have to ask permission if you could hire this guy or even bring him in for an interview, or you're told do not bring him in for an interview, why are you still here? Where's your self-respect? Where's your self-respect for you not being able to do your job? Kenny should have no say in this. Sure, you can consult with him, but the decision should be yours. And if it is, and you chose not to bring those guys in, not to hire those guys, that's on you. And if it's not, and it's technically up to Kenny, still making the influential suggestions, then you should have been gone when they took your legs out from underneath you and brought in Tony La Russa. You should have been. I'm out, bitches. I'm out. But you stayed. What, do they give you a big bonus or something to stay? Because if that's your job description and the owner just jumps in and says, hey, you know what, we're going to hire this guy. When that's my job is to hire managers and you say, no, you're going to do it. Well, then obviously you don't need me. So I need to go somewhere else. Obviously, you don't need me. Obviously. So this franchise is screwed. I think I just found out my friend G Unit, Galia is she's going to the Sox game on Sunday the 30th. Celebrate her birthday, and they're going to have a tailgate. So I'm like, I was already looking at discounted tickets. I was like, all right, G, of course, for you, I'll go. But I'm getting them off the secondary market. I'm not giving them any more money. The Sox already got their money for this ticket already. But I'm not going to any more games. I'm not going to any more games. They're just that horrible. They don't hold their players accountable. They don't hold themselves accountable. This is a laughing stock. When Cub fans make fun of us, they have every right to. And all I could tell them is your mama. That's the best comeback I could say. Your mama. Because everything I said will be right. Just like everything I said to Cub fans back in the day was right. Was facts. When will the Sox stop enjoying being the laughing stock of the city? When? Oh, Jerry doesn't care because he's getting hundreds of millions of dollars every year off of owning the White Sox. So who cares? He doesn't. He definitely doesn't. The Cubs are going the other way. They're kind of wondering, what are they going to do? The professor with a good outing, although he did get hit. He got touched up a bit. So while the Sox are trending down, they're 16 games under, 15 games under 500. They're worst this season. They're worst. How? It's amazing. And the Sox are 16 games under, and the Cubs are 5 under. Let Ross keep cooking. Let him keep doing what he needs to do. Let him have him hold his players accountable. Let him bench players for not hustling. Let him move guys down to the order for not hitting well. Continue to let Ross do what he's doing. And soon there'll be 5 out. Then there'll be 3 out. And next thing you know, the Cubs are contending for a wild card or maybe even a division. I'd say most likely a wild card. It is at least the All-Star break. The All-Star break is here. Let's just hope Luis Robert shows out in the home run hitting contest tonight. I hope he goes ham. I hope he goes ham. Takes out all the frustration he has on this season. I hope he takes it out in the home run derby. I would love that. I would love for him to win the home run hitting contest. That would be dope. That would be so freaking dope. So the first round goes like this. Luis Robert, who's the favorite, mind you. Luis Robert's going up against Adley Rutschman. Pete Alonso, number 2, is going up against Julio Rodriguez. Mookie Betts, number 3, is going against Vlad Guerrero Jr. We just got done seeing him. And number 4, Adolis Garcia is going against Randy Arozarena. That's going to be fun. Well, listen, we got to take a quick break. Let's just revel in the All-Star game. Let's not worry about our baseball team. Just worry about baseball tonight. Let's just have fun watching the home run derby. Hopefully it's entertaining. Hopefully you get to see some really, really exciting stuff. And hopefully this All-Star break could last the rest of the season. Could last the rest of the season. Because right now they are just painful to watch. My Sox. And the Cubs, they're up and down, up and down, up and down. And I'm sure if you're a Cub fan, they might be painful to watch for you as well. So let's take a quick break. All right. Get off this baseball nonsense because it's frustrating since both teams are way, way under 500. And we're going to switch gears on the other side of the break. All right. My guy Lauren Cox from the Lockdown Bears podcast is going to join us. Training camp is 15 days. Well, not 15 days. They got to report. But shit, that's 2 weeks, man. That's 2 weeks. It's getting near. Darnell Mooney said he's just this morning said he's back on track. He'll be ready to roll. I'm fired up. So we're gonna welcome Lauren Cox on the other side of the break. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Off the fake. Fields against the grain. Finds Jesse James. Field. With time. Delivers down the field. one way and Fields stumbling. Trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Everybody in a work zone is someone's somebody.
This is my mom. She works for KDOT.
This is my dad.
This is my mom.
This is my daddy.
This is my sister.
This is my daddy.
This is my son, Scott. He was killed while working in a highway work zone. When you drive through a work zone, drive like a life depends on it. Because it does.
Order up. When I want to give up, I try to focus on getting to the next minute, then the next hour, and the next day.
It might not seem like it right now, but there are people out there like me who want to listen and support you for the long haul.
And I found someone to talk to, someone who listened.
You are not alone.
Hey, this is Dr. J, and I listen to Shawn and Maya in the morning.
Allen stands in, throws far side, intercepted, picked off by Kyler Gordon. Gorlin up the sideline, still on his feet, coming back across, and now down at about the 35-yard line. Lost the ball. Allen one on the boundary. He looks left. Now he's going to run it out and get creamed at the 2.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those courtesy of CBS. Those are the Bears, baby. Let me tell you somehow. Have I mentioned that I'm excited? Have I mentioned that I'm excited that training camp is right around the corner? I don't know if I've mentioned it once or twice or 50 times. I'm not sure. But anyway, I digress. My next guest is a good friend of the program. We've been rocking together. He's been rocking with us for years. He is the host of the Locked On Bears podcast, and you can find him on Twitter at Cox Sports One, like Fox Sports One, but with a C. Guys, let's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, our guy, Lauren Cox. Lauren, what's up, Papa? Good morning.
Hey, thanks for having me back on. It's fun to be able to talk Bears and get excited about it in the beginning of July. You know, like we're so close. We're not there yet, but let's do it.
It is very fun and very exciting. It's cool because now you got to find stuff to do for this time. I'm just waiting for my do to come off, a notification saying the Bears signed Yannick Ngakoue or somebody, a defense. That's all I'm waiting on. All right, that's all I really care about. I can care less about my White Sox. They suck. I'm only going to one more game that I know of because my friend's having a birthday party. So that's it. I'm not a Cub fan, so I don't care about the Cubs. The Bulls, horrible. The Blackhawks, at least we got Connor Bedard. They're not starting for a while, so the only thing we got is Street Fest right now. Like I'm enjoying Street Fest and is waiting for that notification that the Bears have signed a defensive end. Do you think they're going to make a splash and bring in a veteran defensive end before training camp?
It feels like they have to, right? I mean, when you look at this defensive line, it is not proven in talent. There's plenty of young guys. There's plenty of guys you can be excited about and guys that you feel like are not at their peak, right? We haven't seen the best of these players, and so in theory, they can get better and be better than they've been at this stage of their career. But it seems like you really need to at least have like one guy with some sort of proven consistent production instead of a few different guys that have some little peaks here and there, but not anything too crazy. But at the same time, that's not been Ryan Poles' strategy, right? To go out and sign an older veteran on a short-term deal that just to kind of help the team be better right away. But it's the awkward part of this transition period / if you want to use the term rebuilding, where eventually you do have to focus more on not just the long term, but the short term. But your free agent options tend to be a lot of older veteran players that might be looking for more of a championship pursuit than the Bears are willing to or able to provide them this year. But I don't know, my theory all along has been like, yeah, some of these guys, they don't want to do OTAs or mini camp. They've been waiting for training camp anyway to sign with this team. But does anybody fit that mold? I mean, I think they got to bring in somebody, but I don't know that it's going to be, a 30-year-old Jadeveon Clowney or certainly not like a 33-year-old Robert Quinn. But Ngakoue does feel like the closest to like young-ish that would make sense. But he's also really not that great in run defense, and the Bears really do value that, especially.
I'm a little concerned with him, and the reason being is Kadir Al-Muhammad or AQM Al-Kadir Muhammad that we signed, who was in the system last year or 2 seasons ago, wasn't really productive in the system. Ngakoue should be a little different, but I'm kind of getting once bitten, twice shy kind of a feel. Who else did you think? I agree. He'd be the perfect fit. He talked about wanting to be on a contender, and people immediately wrote him off. I'm like, wait a minute. If they give him a 2-year contract, I think the Bears are going to be contenders in 24. So he's going to be on a contender. So does he need to be on a contender this year? Or can he say the team, I'll collect some money? Who knows? We might, upset some people, open some eyes in the playoffs. But next year, we're going to be a contender. What do you think? Does he need to be a contender this year, on a contender this year? Or could he wait till next year?
I think for him, he's been content signing these 1-year deals to try and cash in on something long-term. And for some reason, teams haven't been willing to do so. I think like in 2021, he did like 10 sacks with the Raiders, and it was like, okay, let's see it again. And then he did it again for the Colts and had another almost 10 sack season. And I think he's still kind of like, why sign a 2-year deal when I could keep doing 1-year deals, trying to have a big production to get some team to give me that 3 or 4-year deal. But if the Bears want to pony up enough guaranteed money to make it worth his while, I think you could convince any of these guys to sign. It's just a matter of how much you're really willing to pay. And I don't know. To me, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would want to take a 2-year deal. Like he's 28, so like he wants to get that one more long-term extension into his 30s, and 1 year with a lot of money, kind of a mercenary type deal for now to wait for the right opportunity eventually. But I don't know when that opportunity is going to come. At some point, he's got to look in the mirror and say, hey, teams don't want me on a long-term deal. So maybe 2 years from the Bears would be a smart move for him.
Right. That's a great call. Guys, we're joined by Lauren Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast, talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm really, really looking forward to this defense. And I'll say it like I've said it to everyone else. I'm not putting them with the 85 Bears or the 2000 Ravens by any stretch. Okay. But I think their pass rush is going to be much better. I think they got a lot of young guys, a lot of hungry guys, a lot of relentless guys, guys who are trying to earn their keep and make a name for themselves. I think they have a good rotation going. And I think that's going to be a much improved pass rush. Again, they ain't getting 350 sacks this year. I'm not expecting that, but I am expecting some pressure just because of the fact there's an upgrade in talent. There's a high motivation level from these youngsters trying to make a name for themselves, and some veterans who sign some off-season deals, trying to earn their money. Your thoughts on that D line, minus the ends, of course.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be a group that's better. The problem is, the bar is the floor here, right? Like, it is possible for them to be worse. And so the question then is like, how much better? And one of the things I did a week or so ago, like looking through these pass rushers, is like if you took the career best year of everyone on the defensive line. So like DeMarcus Walker's best year, he had 7 sacks. Travis Gibson had 7 sacks a couple years ago. Rasheem Green had like 3 or 4 or 5 sacks a couple years ago. Dominic Robinson had 3. Justin Jones is best is 3. Andrew Billings is like 3. If you like add up if every defensive lineman had their career best year in sacks, the Bears would still be ranked like 25th in sacks. If all those guys had their best years compared to like last year, they would still be about like 25th in sacks. Like it would be better than last year. And sacks is not the only way to measure how good a pass rush is. But like that's where the concern is, right? It's like even if everyone had done the best they've done in their career, like you're going to need these guys to be better than they've been in their careers, which, a second-year player like Dominic Robinson, you should expect to be better than he's ever been before. And you can see a guy like Rasheem Green coming over to Chicago and having maybe a better opportunity there and do better. And of course, the rookies didn't count for any of the rookie defensive tackles in that they're going to add some backs to that mix. Like just the veterans' career best years wouldn't be enough, but guys are going to need to be better than we've seen before. And some of these guys were playing off the bench in other teams and coming into Chicago to be starters and haven't had this type of role to be better than they've been before. So it's a lot of projection and it's a lot of faith in your defensive line coach, unless you go out and add a veteran to add to that group. But there's reason to believe these guys are still largely ascending on their way up and can be better this year than they've been. It's just a matter of how much better and where does that leave the Bears pass rush as a whole. And I'm not confident that it's going to be great, but it has to be better than last year by default.
Sacks aren't the only measure of a defensive line. And, I don't want, and a lot of people tend to say, well, he's had X amount of sacks. Okay, true. All right. Numbers can be manipulated any way you want to fit your agenda. I'm okay with not a lot of sacks as long as I get pressure up the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. Pressure up the middle will screw up a quarterback more than pressure from the outside. All right. Quarterback can step up, buy more time, step up and replace the pressure if it's coming from the outside. If there's pressure up the middle, there's no way a quarterback can step up. Oftentimes, a quarterback can't follow through because of a helmet. Usually his own offensive lineman's helmet, is in the way on the follow through. And now we're talking broken fingers or messed up wrists or things like that, stuff that'll take your starting quarterback out. So I'm hoping for stuff like that. I'm hoping for a quarterback to say, oh shit, I can't follow through. I'm going to have to get it off earlier. You get it off earlier. Now you're playing right into the hands of the strength of this defense, in my opinion. That's the secondary. Talk to me about that secondary and Tyreek Stevenson basically being given the job to lose. Kyler Gordon going back to the slot as he really got his feet underneath him the last 4 or 5 games of the season. Jalen Johnson, on the other hand, Jaquan Brisker, and man, big play Eddie Jackson. Talk to me about how that's going to help them and how you think they will do as a group this season.
Yeah, there's such like a symbiotic relationship between coverage and pass rush in a sense where because the back end is such a strength of this Bears team right now, I see it like those guys are going to be the ones that help the pass rush because if the coverage is good, the quarterback has to hold on to the ball and wait for somebody to get open. And the longer the quarterback has to hold onto the ball, the more time the pass rush has to get home and effective. I mean, it's a two-way street, right? The pass rush can hurry the quarterback so that the coverage doesn't have to cover so long. But if the coverage can cover longer, it gives the pass rush more time to get back to the quarterback. And I think that's obviously what the Bears are going to be relying a little bit more heavily on this season. And there's a lot of reason to be encouraged. I mean, the Bears, it's kind of easy to overlook like how much the Bears have invested in this secondary. There are 4 second-round picks among your cornerbacks and safeties, plus a 4th-round pick in Eddie Jackson, who's clearly the best of the bunch. Like they have put a lot of premium draft capital in that secondary, and it's time for those players to continue to ascend and grow. Certainly, we know what Jalen Johnson is at this point, but a lot at stake this year for him in a potential contract year that I don't think they're going to get an extension done with him before the season. I think they're going to play this one out and see how that looks. But you need Kyler Gordon to take a step forward. I think he's a little bit of a wild card here. We saw some really great flashes last season and saw him get torched by Green Bay up and down the field. So we really saw the high and low ends for him as well. And Tyreek Stevenson as a rookie, we think there should be some good translatable skills there in terms of, press coverage and being physical, but he's going to make rookie mistakes too. It's just part of the equation. So there might be some up and down there too. And as much consistency as you can get from those two is going to be what takes this team farther. Because I think we kind of know exactly what we're getting at this point with Jalen Johnson, Jaquan Brisker, and Eddie Jackson. It's those other two that could be very good, but still young and still learning. And you're wondering if there's going to be some bumps in the road.
I think there will be. But I don't think they're going to be they're going to be a lot. I liked what Ryan Poles has done. I like the fact that he's insulated himself. Don't forget they also drafted that cornerback out of Minnesota as well. So if Jalen Johnson, they can't find an agreement, come to an agreement and find common ground, this guy's going to get time at some particular point. All right. So they find these are both two physical Big Ten corners, which means they like to get their hands on you. Most corners in the Big Ten, they will participate in the run game. So if Jalen Johnson, his asking price is too high, or for whatever reason they just can't meet in the middle, and they let him go, Ryan Poles is insulated himself with some young, much more inexpensive talent, which is always a big part with him.
Mhm.
All right. And I like that he's done that. Talk to me about
negotiating right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're in the wide receiver room, all right, Bayless Jones, all right, Darnell Mooney, all right, Chase. Basically, it's me, Chase Claypool or Darnell Mooney. Which one of you is not getting signed by us since they're both in a contract year? Why? Because we got Bayless Jones, who from all my people up there saying he's not dropping a damn thing. He better not. And then Tyler Scott, the dude, every time I see him, the dude's running away from defenders. So which one of you is not getting re-signed by us? We'll let it play out. Talk to me about how Ryan Poles is, how good that is, how important that is, that the competition, not just on the defensive side of the ball, like we talked about, but now on the offensive side of the ball, especially in that receiver room.
Yeah, to me, it becomes about like preparation. And I think that this is like the best stage of the team building process to do that. Where like this Bears team is not super top heavy in terms of talent, but there's a lot of depth on this team. And that depth gives you backup options in case things don't work out. Like he's been able to cover his butt just in case things don't work out, and then continue to try and then add top end talent on top of that, because he's covering his butt for guys that, I mean, not all of them, but in a lot of these cases, like guys that weren't his in Jalen Johnson, Darnell Mooney, that certainly like we have a lot of faith in Johnson and Mooney. And it's not, you're not preparing for them in case they're bad, but just in case, you know, you're negotiating with a player that of the previous general manager maybe said certain things to, or sort of made them feel like, oh, like you're going to be the long-term part of this. And me, Ryan Poles, I didn't promise any of that stuff. I didn't bring you in here. Like I like you, but I don't owe you that. We don't have that connection. I didn't make that phone call on draft day and tell you to talk to your mom and dad and draft process and, you know, give you that hug or whatever. Like, you know, there's a little more distance there. So Ryan Poles has options like across the board. I think he learned a little bit from last year too, where, you know, there were so many injuries at cornerback and so many injuries on the offensive line, and they were scraping the bottom of the barrel to try and find guys that could just play. You know, they were bringing in guys off the street and starting them in week 17 and week 18. And now he's like, you know what, let's make sure we've got multiple young guys at every position that we like. There's veterans at the top that we like, and then there's guys behind them that are developing, like across the board. You got young receivers, you got young offensive linemen. I guess you don't really have a young tight end, but like you got young running backs, young defensive linemen, young linebackers, young cornerbacks, young safeties. Like they've got that like veteran and rookie or second year guy combo at pretty much every position, so that you have backup options if guys leave in free agency, or if guys get hurt, or just long-term guys don't pan out the way you think they would. You got a next man up that you feel good about, that's a Ryan Poles guy waiting in the wings.
I agree. And that's the big thing. And people don't understand. A lot of times it is that he's not my guy. So, yeah. And he might be on par with your guy, but because he's not your guy, I'm out. You're out. You know what I mean? It's just people want their guys, and it's understandable. I get it completely. This offensive line is going to be improved, in my opinion. Talk to me about that. Darnell Wright is a road grader. All right. Watching him run block is a thing of beauty. Nasty Nate Davis likes to run block. Obviously we know what Tevin Jenkins can do. And what probably arguably maybe our best run blocker was Braxton Jones. All right. His ability to get out there on those wide zone, on those stretches, those wide zones. And if his pass pro can just improve as far as being able to anchor, man, hats off to Ryan Poles for getting a starting left tackle deep in the draft. And you're not going to have to pay him a lot because of his draft status. And you might have that position short up. Talk to me about this offensive lineman and how you think they're going to lead the run game to help Justin Fields, which we'll get to next.
My favorite thing about what the Bears did with the offensive line this offseason is that, like, for the first time in what feels like
ever
for the first time in many, many years of covering this team, we knew the starting five offensive line from the day one of OTAs, right? How many years have we done through training camp where it's like, okay, this guy's doing left and right tackle, and we're moving guys around and trying to
long
who's going to start where, and they never get to really settle into one spot until week 1. All right, you're the left guard. Go out there and play. And it's like, could we not have figured this out 4 or 5 months ago and let these guys master one thing and get really comfortable with the guys next to them and gel as an offensive line? And that like, as soon as we heard like, okay, Tevin Jenkins is going to left guard, Cody Whitehair is going to center, we've got this figured out. Like, we're not moving Nate Davis and Jenkins back and forth. We're not rotating Cody Whitehair with Lucas Patrick or whatever. Like, no, give these guys a spot and let them get good at it. And thank God, again, like it feels like it's been decades, like from Lovie Smith era through Trestman, through Nagy, or through John Fox. Like, they're always moving these linemen around, and we have a starting 5 set in May, and it just it does my offensive line heart good that these guys can be the best that they can be, and then that's gonna help them connect even better in the running game. You know, when 5 guys have to operate as one in those zone runs, they're all taking a first step the same direction, and they got to move as a moving wall. And when you know that you've done 1,000 reps at practice all summer with the guy next to you and the guy on either side of you, you know how fast he moves, you know how long his arms are, you know what he can get to and what he can't get to. You don't have to think about it.
Preach.
You just get to play football. You don't have to, you're not thinking, you're just reacting. You know your assignment. You trust that the guys next to you know their assignment. You know how they operate, and you just get to play. Like, that's going to be so valuable. It's one of those things we can't measure in football, but man, I think it's really going to go a long way.
Dude, I was about to start throwing some dollars at your ass. Like, preach, buddy, preach. You said it eloquently. You know, it's now there's no thinking. All right. You know where you're locked in. From day one of OTAs, you know, there's no, this week you're doing this week you're playing that position, next week, no, it's, you're locked in. And as I talked about with baseball teams and with especially basketball teams, when you're given a role, and this is what players flourish, because now they know exactly what their job description is. Okay. They know exactly what their job description is. And in the essence of self-preservation, they're going to do it. They want to continue collecting these NFL checks. Okay. They want to continue winning the one-on-one battle. Okay. There's 5 one-on-one battles every single snap of the ball. And they want to win as many of those as possible every single game. And I'm going to be doing this from this spot for 60 plus plays a game for 17 weeks. This is what I need to focus on. And that makes a big difference. That makes a huge difference, because now there's no, once you have that, you're set. Now muscle memory kicks in. Now you can adjust. Now you can tweak different things, because this is your home spot. There's so much familiarity. There's so much comfortability. It really makes things move more efficiently. Thank you, Ryan Poles, for doing that. Thank you, Chris Morgan, for doing that. It makes this a big, that's a big move that makes this offense a lot more potent. Talk about that guy, Justin, what's his last name? Who's going to be running the offense? Talk to me about now. He's got Chase Claypool in the whole. Okay, he's still not 100%. I guess he's still got some soft tissue stuff, but he's working with DJ Moore. All right, he's working with Cole Kmet. He's working with Darnell Mooney. All right, did I erase it? They were just at Maine West High School last week, just throwing the ball around. Talk to me about how important that's going to be, and how impressive, how potent do you think this offense will be this year?
Yeah, I mean, to be on the same page with those guys as early as possible, much like we talked about with the offensive line, it is so key for Fields. And you certainly don't want any of these players injured, but if one had to miss time this offseason, it being Darnell Mooney is like the best case scenario. Like, you want him to be getting as much time with DJ Moore and Chase Claypool as possible. And he and Mooney, they already know what they're doing. They'll catch back up at training camp and be good to go. And of course, like Claypool now dealing with the soft tissue stuff too is not ideal. And I think there were all those reports about Chase Claypool and the motivation or whatever and stuff. Like, to me, the bigger concern is the injury thing. Like, he needs to be practicing. It reminds me of Kevin White in that way. And like, not that they're the same, but just that was one of the problems with Kevin White was, obviously he missed games, but he also missed so much practice that he couldn't get on the same page with the quarterbacks and the offense and really running those drills. And like, you need to be there in those offseason moments when you're brand new to the team. And I just want to, and I'm concerned about, like, if this is going to be something that lingers and becomes an issue through training camp, because he missed a little bit of time last season with injury too. And it just, that makes me nervous about Claypool. But for Fields, right, like, he's got everything he needs. Everything's not perfect, but he's got enough now, to where to some extent the excuses start to fade a little bit too, right? Like it's
yeah,
too. And he's like, it's not the best wide receiving core, it's not the best tight ends, it's not the best running back, not the best offensive line, but all of those are at a good enough level where a good quarterback can work with this, right? It's not a great supporting cast, but a good supporting cast. And that means like if you're a good quarterback, this should be enough for you to be able to have all the sort of success that you need. And so now that you have that to go with all the individual things that Fields was able to do as a playmaker last season, you bring everything else up around him. And this should be ready to start cooking a little bit more, because we already saw him start to cook a bit last season. I mean, how many of those games did they lose by one score? Because at the end, Equanimeous St. Brown drops a pass, or the offensive
Mooney bobbles it at the goal line, and it should have been a touchdown against the Washington team. I couldn't remember their name.
and Fields gets blamed, like that's a turnover on downs. That's a loss for him in the fourth quarter. And certainly, he made mistakes in those games too. Like he wasn't perfect at all times, but like if you take all those moments that were not his fault, that got like other people messing up, and you make those correct. I mean, the Bears win 3 or 4 more games last season with a really bad roster. Let's add on now a better defense, better receivers, better offensive line. I mean, there's a real momentum here of like Fields taking that next step with everyone joining him a step higher. And this team, certainly we're not talking Super Bowl contention or anything this season, but we're talking pushing for maybe the 7th wild card playoff spot, and certainly making some noise, a lot more noise in the division this year than they did last year.
Yeah, I'm looking at 10 wins, bro. I'm looking at 10 wins. Let's not forget the Amir Smith-Marset fumble when he's trying to get more yards against his former team, the Vikings. Not saying they would have won, but gives them an opportunity. Let's not forget about the mixed extra point by Cairo Santos, all right, against the Miami Dolphins, which we lose that game. All right, it would have been tied. Okay, there's a whole bunch of different things. Justin Fields can't throw the ball and catch the ball down. Now we have a legitimate, all right, which pushes everybody down and takes a lot of pressure off of 2 guys in Mooney and Claypool who are in contract years. All right, you don't have to be, you are never going to be double teamed. Okay, and if you are, damn well you're not getting the ball because DJ Moore is going to get that God bless the ball because he's going to get open. Okay, so you get to eat. Now they should be going into, or they will be. I guarantee those guys are going in there fired up. 1, to have a legit number 1. 2, now I can make a lot of money in with my contract because I can eat. I can help this team win. I can help this team fight for the division. I can help this team get to the playoffs. There's a lot of good things going on with this wide receiver room because of what DJ Moore did. And I worked his camp a couple weeks ago, and I'm not a fanboy by any stretch because I've been around too many athletes and million. But I'm looked at him and I'm just like, damn, you are what we freaking need. Like you, Mother Hubbard, you are what we need. I cannot wait for you to just start being a badass son of a gun that people are like, God damn, why can't we stop him? Why can't we stop him? He is a breath of fresh air. They're all young. He's 25. He'll be 26. Okay. He's literally going right into his prime. 5,000 yards, which he would be the leading Bear receiver in Bears history if he brought that production over. I'm looking forward to him doing that. It's going to be fun watching. Talk to me about Coach Eberflus. How does he change now? Give me your thoughts on him, because now he's got a defense that is better. He's got guys, except for most of the D line, but your most of those guys aren't learning anymore. All right, they went through this defense last year. You know what I mean? The offense, Luke Getsy, you're not teaching this offense anymore. Now you can coach them in this offense. That's a huge difference. Talk to me about how happy or how Eberflus would be, and then about the coordinators and how comfortable and maybe how creative they may get.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. It's like this is the year that I think we're going to learn a lot about them. Like last year was a year of learning a lot about the players and the young guys that they had brought in and trying to see what they could do or what they couldn't do. But as a result of that, right, we weren't able to really sit there and be a good judge of, say, like Eberflus and Alan Williams' defense. It's like, yeah, I mean, we can get a sense of some of the plays they're calling and stuff, but when you've got, 3 backup cornerbacks out there and your best linebacker's gone and your best pass rusher's gone, like I don't think anyone's gonna sit here and say like, oh man, the play calling was the problem with that defense, right? So, but like now it's like, sure, you certainly have the pass rush question mark still, but now we can get a better sense of like, okay, how well are these players being put in the best position to be successful? Like, are they asking too much of guys? Are they putting guys in the right spots? And like last season, they kind of just had to ask, they needed Kyler Gordon to play both because they didn't have a lot in the slot and on the outside. Like he was asked to do probably more than he should have, but some of that felt like more out of necessity than anything else. Some of the other young guys getting extra playing time. It's like we just had to put guys where we had to put guys to test them and see what they could do. But now let's see how well they can really take advantage. Same thing with like Luke Getsy in the offense, right? Like there were certainly Bears fans that were critical of the way Getsy called games last season. And I kind of felt like when your wide receivers are Equanimous St. Brown and a rookie Van Jones and Darnell Mooney, there's not really a great play call when none of your wide receivers get open. So they kind of all got the benefit of the doubt coaching wise last season, much like Fields got some of the benefit of the doubt too, for the same reasons, because of the lack of players around him. So now it's like, it's go time. All right, Luke Getsy, you've got 3 solid wide receivers, a couple of solid tight ends, good backfield, better offensive line. You got to be creative now. Like, show us that you can be a coach who sets yourself apart from other coaches as an offensive play caller. And same thing defensively. Like, you can't get too predictable. You can't get too comfortable in calling your same, few coverages over and over again. You got to mix it up. You can't just say, okay, Eddie Jackson's always the deep safety, Jaquan Brisker's always the box safety, and the quarterbacks can predict where you're going to go. Like, it's about mixing it up without leaving your foundation. But like, this is the year that we can really learn a lot, I think, about how these 2 play callers in particular call their schemes with much more of the actual talent that we should expect them to be able to have more success with.
I think we're going to have a lot of success, Lauren. As I said, I'm saying 10 wins. I'm just really looking forward to Justin Fields. All right. Justin Fields is a leader. He's a winner. And every single person just talked about his work ethic. And you talked about, and we just talked about, he can't do both. He can't throw and catch. All right. He can't do it on the same play. That area has been improved. We've seen the throws he's made, throwing to the left, rolling to the left, or backpedaling to the left, throwing across his body, over just past the outstretched arms of the defender into the arms of a tight end. Was it Jesse James, if I'm not mistaken, maybe in the Pittsburgh game or something a couple of years ago? Dropping the ball and dropping it in the bucket, over Darnell Mooney's outside shoulder with a guy draped on him. That happened in practice. I don't know if it was Herb was telling me. I think it was Herb Howard was telling me. It was up the left sideline. He said Jalen Johnson was all over Bayless Jones, all over him. Couldn't. He might as well have been in a jersey. He said, and Fields just literally dropped it on the outside shoulder. He caught it, 2-tapped it, and stepped out of bounds. I'm like, just stuff like that. Like, stuff like that gets the hair on my arms standing up. It gets me excited because we've seen this dude win. We've seen this dude. We've seen the throws, everything he did at Ohio State. And we've only been able to see flashes of it here because of the talent. Now that this talent is upgraded, not great, not the best wide receiver running back room, but it's upgraded to quality, not superstar, but quality help. Come on, man. This guy is going to have, I'm 3,500 yards or more. I'm saying 25 tutties, maybe more. The only thing I hope he cuts down is on his interceptions, because if he does, with the improvement of the defense and shorter fields, no pun intended, this team's gonna really, really, really make a lot of noise. And I'll tell you what, people in the NFL are concerned about the Bears. Fans might not be, because the Bears, they suck. They had 3-37 last year. Ha ha ha. Okay, keep laughing. But teams, people who know football, are looking at what the Bears have done, how they've upgraded their roster from the offensive line starting, then the wide receivers and the running back room and the linebackers and man, Lauren, this is, again, I'm not putting them in the Super Bowl by any stretch. I'm putting them in the playoffs, and I'm putting them fighting for that division. They may get a home playoff game this year if things go well. If Justin stays healthy, and this whole team gels, because they got a lot of new players, rookies, free agents. If they gel, this is going to be a fun season, and we'll finally be able to talk shit to Packer fans, because it's not been fun. It's not been fun with all my Packer fan friends talking shit. And all I can say is your mama. That's all I can say. Well, that's the best comeback I got. They know they've won.
I've gotten that my entire life. I am right there with you.
Hey, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on. But before you go, please do me a huge favor. Let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on. You can hear me 5 days a week most of the year on Locked On Bears podcast. We're in our off season right now. We're slowing a little bit down, but we're ramping back up to full 5 days a week here for training camp. And then, of course, on Twitter at Cox Sports One. I always say it's like Fox Sports One, but with a C.
Oh, one of my guys, before we let you go, my guy Cornelius wants to know, how do you think Tyler Scott will be able to contribute to the passing game this year? Or maybe is he going to just be like a gadget guy, like a Velus Jones they wanted to be? Or what do you think about Tyler Scott?
Yeah, gadget feels a little bit insulting, like
yeah.
Gadget guy basically like, hey, we don't actually trust you to play wide receiver. We're just gonna, but at the same time, like I think it's that type of role where it's like we're gonna have packages. There's gonna be deep shots and some underneath like screens and stuff. But when you got 3 horses ahead of him on DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, and Chase Claypool, like as long as those guys are healthy, Luke Getzey doesn't seem like kind of offensive coordinator who goes to a lot of 4 wide receiver sets, even in Green Bay. Like he likes to use the tight ends. He signed Robert Tonyan. I think we're going to see a lot more 2 tight end sets this year in particular, which means even fewer wide receivers on the field at a time. So I'm keeping low expectations for Tyler Scott, but I think we're going to see he's one of those guys who's not going to have a ton of catches, but he might have 2 or 3 touchdowns and a couple of really big plays. Right. He comes in big play explosive, but then that's about it. It's not like a consistent role. It's more like a splash kind of role.
Okay. You got it, Cornelius? Yeah, I do too, man. I see. I'm fired up, dude. I am seeing crossing routes, the mesh routes. You know how Green Bay used to do with him and Velus Jones. All right, I just see stuff like that. All right, good luck if you're the DB who tries to go over and then tries to catch Velus Jones or Tyler Scott. Because all my guys, when I asked them last year about like Velus Jones, because remember that was a big thing. He's fast, his speed. So I asked Herb Howard, and then I asked Zach Pearson from Bear Report. I was like, can you tell the speed? Can you? And both of them like, yeah, you can see he got that different gear. And I was like, okay. So this year I asked them again. I was like, well, what about Tyler Scott? They're like, that dude he got that gear. It's not even, he don't even hide it. He's got that gear. So I love that they got the speed. I love that they got those underneath guys. And like you said, those big splashes, they're not going to play, 85% of the snaps. But when they're in there, you better watch out because, oh, shit, because if we get him the ball and our DBs are trailing with the outside wide receivers and this guy gets the ball 2 yards past the line of scrimmage and the DBs are running with their back to the line of scrimmage, woo, Charlie, that's going to be really fun. And it's going to be a lot of high fives and a lot of beer drinking for us Bear fans, hopefully. So, man, hey, great stuff again, Lauren. I appreciate it, man. And keep your head up there in Wisconsin. Just remember, they're special up there. That's okay.
I'll do my best. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks, buddy. We'll talk soon. Bye. Guys, that's Lauren Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast, talking Bears football with me. Great stuff. And I love it. I love it. He's excited too. Here's my question though, Cornelius. Tyler Scott, you say is going to be special. I think so too. My question is this, and I'm trying not to get too far ahead, okay? He could be our Mark Anderson of the Bears this year. You remember Mark Anderson, folks? Do you remember Mark Anderson from the 06 Bears? Okay. He came in, ended up with 8-10 sacks as a rookie. He was just in on passing downs, and he was just a specialist. And was great for us. Then he got more time. People figured him out. But I think Tyler Scott is going to be one of those guys who, because you're going to know about his speed, but if he's out there with DJ Moore and Darnell Mooney, I mean, what if you're in a 4 wide receiver set? If you're in 10 personnel, all right, you got DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool. You can't be worried about Tyler Scott. You can't be worried about Tyler Scott because that's an insult and that's a lack of respect to DJ Moore, and DJ Moore will make you pay. So Tyler Scott's going to have a lot of one-on-one opportunities. He's going to have a lot of one-on-one opportunities, and I think he's going to cash in on a lot of them. And that's what us Bear fans are hoping for. I know I am. I am hoping for it big time. It's I'm telling you, I'm fired up. I cannot explain to you how Cornelius, his deep ball tracking ability is fantastic. Yes, it is. It's almost time for the talk. It's about time for the talking to stop. Now it's just time for the Bears to start whooping people's asses. Now it's time for the Bears to go in there and show the NFL we're here. We're back. We're back for a while. We're back for a while. And I'll have fun talking trash to all my Packer friends, all my Detroit Lion friends, all my Minnesota Viking friends, and depending who else they beat. I said it before, I'll say it again. Week 3 in Kansas City, watch it. Watch out. Watch out. That will be a great coming of age game. Okay, a coming out party for Justin Fields, so to speak, because now you're going up against the best quarterback in the NFL today. And if you can match him throw for throw, you get a win. Whew. Whew. All of a sudden, the narrative gets flipped upside down. Just wait. Week 3, Kansas City, Bears at Chiefs. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to have more sports conversation. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
At a time when the news seems as subjective as the partisan politics dividing this country, independent professional journalism has become a resource people need to get the honest and accurate information for their lives. That's why I created JCoyneReports.com. As a born and raised Chicagoan, I know this city better than anyone. So my investigative stories are all original, and they'll go deeper to expose the truth by using information obtained from public information databases and in-depth interviews with the movers and shakers. My future stories will introduce you to people and businesses who are changing the world, not just Chicago. My missing person stories will spotlight those who you don't hear about in the mainstream media who are often overlooked. If you want to hear my personal views on things around the world, check out my blog site, which is based off of factual information and my life experiences. There's also past episodes of my weekly sports podcast show, What's Up Cuz, that I host with my real-life cousin, Lance Irvin. So if you're looking for all this information and more, check out JCoyneReports.com and follow me on Twitter at JCoyne.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
And the batter is Elvis Andrus.
This one off the glove of Contreras. His throw is into center field and rolling near the Dan Ryan.
Not particularly well caught.
Muff at the plate.
That's through, and the Sox get a run thanks to Colas' speed and the Cardinal defense specifically. And Carlos Perez has grabbed a bat to hit for Sebi Zavala. Huge spot for Carlos. On the ground at third base. It's a short hop, and it's booted by Gorman. You could see it coming a mile away, and the Sox
50 feet away.
In the air, left field side. Burleson underneath. Here comes Remillard, and the Sox take the lead. If that ends up.
Woo-hoo! Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those were the good guys yesterday against the Cardinals, and they did not win. They did not win. Do we have to talk? You know what? No, I didn't want to talk about that. I didn't want to talk about them. All right, Mike, they're horrible. All right. I don't know how many more games I'm going to this year. I know one is the 30th I'm going to, because that's going to be my good friend. It's her birthday. They're having a tailgate, so yeah, I'll definitely go hang out. I gotta think of what to get her, but it's gonna be fun. I'm tired of this nonsense. I'm tired of this organization. It sucks because I love this team. It sucks because I love going to Sox Park. You know, Sox Park is fun. All right, it's fun. Phenomenal food. All right, the options for food are just amazing. One of the best in all of Major League Baseball. This is not my own, home cooking opinion. Okay, this is from MLB Baseball, MLB. All right, this is one of the top spots across the league as far as food goes. Yeah, we didn't ask you, Junior. All right, we didn't ask you. My birthday is July 25th. That's the day of the Crosstown. The first day of the Crosstown. So now so when I was hanging out at Westfest, they're asking me, are you going to your game, your birthday, the game on your birthday? So I'm thinking about it. One of the guys on the network said he had tickets for that game and he might not go. I'm like, well, give them to me. But then everyone's like, but people from Hirsch, they're going on the 26th. So I got to figure it out. There's a lot going on. So I may end up going to two more games. But my birthday, Brandon, is July 25th. It's Tuesday, 2 weeks from tomorrow. And guess what? It's on the thread, my man Armando Lara Jr., his birthday is July 25th as well. We have the same birthday. He's much, much older than me. He's like 75. And it's also the birthday of the GOAT, the greatest to ever do it, Walter Payton. It is July 25th as well. So, a lot of great people. And Junior. I'm just busting your chops, Papa. Have a birthday on July 25th. That's my birthday, baby. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We just got done with Lauren Cox talking Bears football. I'm excited. I can't stress it anymore. I talked my Bulls. My Bulls are still they cut Marko Simonovic, and he never really could get going. All right, never could really get it going. That's a shame. I believe he's a second-round pick in 2020. And Shuddy. That's awesome. And they let him go, Marko Simonovic. They like, oh, we wish you well. Did you develop him? This guy's supposed to be pretty good. So not watching 3 years, he's going to be somewhere else kicking our ass like Lauri Markkanen. The state of Chicago sports is a bad one at this particular point. It's a bad state of affairs. The Bears are the one holding the mantle. They have the highest upside. The Blackhawks have the second. They're going to be good. But in a couple of years, the Blackhawks will be 3 years. 24, 25, 26. 25, 26, and 26, 27 is when the Blackhawks will be really, really good again. And it's going to be fun watching them grow. Connor Bedard, some of the other Oliver Scott. Yeah, it's going to be fun watching them grow. So the White Sox, who knows what they're going to do? The Cubs, are they ready to make a move? I don't know. But the Bears, I'll tell you what. I say it here. I say it every week. I have arguments about it with people who don't know football, obviously. Obviously. They're going to surprise us. This is going to be one of the best Bears seasons in a long time. In a long time. We're going to compete for the division. Our superstar will be unleashed with his new weapons. Defense is going to be much improved. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Oh, man, 2 hours is come and gone. Unbelievable. I want to thank my guest, Lauren Cox, for coming on, talking Bears football with me. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, was that fun. If you missed it, go back and check it out. You'll definitely want to listen, take a listen. I also want to thank my guy, Steve Weekly, for getting all my clips together. My executive producer, Elliot Baez, my social media guy, Clarence Council III, and my co-host and abstention, Maya Kai. At 12:15, don't forget Second City Sports with Lakina McGee and Sydney Brown. They'll bring you 2 more hours of Chicago sports talk. You're going to want to tune into that and check out that dynamic duo. Cornelius, our guy's birthday is 1 week before yours. When's your birthday? You end of July or beginning of August, guy, Cornelius? What are you saying now, Brandon? What time is sand? Oh, Sid and Lakina. Yeah, they're coming out at 12:15. I will tell Steve-O you said hi. I will. Well, listen, have a wonderful day, folks. We're going to see how this Northwestern situation plays out. Is Pat Fitzgerald, is he going to be fired? I think there's a really good chance of it. It's going to be high of 88 in Chicago. Make sure you stay cool. Let's see. What's the weather in Orland Park? Okay, 87. So, yeah, it's going to be a nice one today out here. In Chicago, 88. In Orland Park, 87. If you get a chance to get to a pool or a water park, do it. But most importantly, make sure you spend time with your family. All right, your family and loved ones. Time moves fast, guys. It moves really, really, really fast. And make the most of it. All right. Guys, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. I'm out. What am I gonna do? Oh, good day. I'm done working already. I was working before the show, so I'm good. Maybe I'll go to a water park. Oh, that might be good. You know what? No, I have a wake to go to. A good buddy of mine, his mom passed, and today's her wake. Son of a biscuit. Brandon, you're August 1st. Okay. You're Leo, like myself. Good stuff. Damn, I forgot about that wake. Thanks for reminding me, folks. Whew. Ugh. Damn. Anyway, guys, have a wonderful day. Be sure to stay tuned. Go grab a bite or do something. Sid and Lakina are coming back. They'll be back with you about 12:15. So make sure you tune into them. So for everybody here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. Thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. And yeah, have a wonderful day. And we love and appreciate all the support you give us. So for everybody here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, thank you. And guess what? Your boy, the Superback, I am out.